Hi me up, hi me up. Happy Friday, everybody. We are here, week 3, day 13 of Diddy's trial. Listen, Mia's still on the stand. From what I understand, the defense is crucifying this poor girl, but we're going to get into all the details. If you are new here, I'm asking you to hang tight for about 6.5 minutes because, it's a live. YouTube got to send out that notification. The people got to stop what they're doing to click the link. We got to allow my folks to come on in. So we're going to give them a few minutes to do that. If you are in the chat, I'm sorry. Yeah, if you're in the chat, if you're a chosen one, a warrior, and you're in the chat, if you are in the bushes, I appreciate your patience. And we're going to get into these things. Now, those of you who know me know that my son is a rapper. He writes, he raps, he performs, he does all the things. He's amazing. And I haven't been really sharing his music, so I'm going to start sharing his music. Okay? And we're going to start with that right about now. Yeah, let's get into it. Apple Music, PJ Corleone. And, I talk about frequency and vibes all the time over here. And the way to get your frequency up and your vibe up is one of the things is through music. Okay? So we're going to celebrate life. We're going to celebrate my son. How about that? I'll be right back, y'all.
I feel good, I feel great. Hook you at my table, fix a plate. Yo, ass a hater, stay away. Been on me, should've stayed away. I feel good, I feel great. Can't you tell by that smile on my face? Can't you tell by the way I pour that ace? Can't you tell by the way I beat that case? Beat that case, I feel great, not just okay. By in the state and relocate, can ride my way, don't sink on me, don't trip the weed and drink on me. Yeah, I'm on top of it, I've been 10 toes. Probably off of Western eating bento. You niggas probably wouldn't get the shit I've been through. Don't never let nobody take away within you. They said this shit is life or death, and I'm living proof. I ain't stopping till the jet got a swimming pool and a living room. I feel good, I feel great. If you at my table, fix a plate. If your ass a hater, stay away. Sleeping on me, should've stayed awake. I feel good, I feel great. Can't you tell by that smile on my face? Can't you tell by the way I pour that ace? Can't you tell by the way I beat that case? Lord, I feel amazing. Remember the days that I slept in the basement. They said I can't make it, so I did it and rubbed out in their faces. Oh yeah, I bet that you thought I was changing the cadence. We came from enslavement. Now you can't do shit without seeing our faces. I go to the bank. I love how it look when they look at my statement. Bitch, I'm from the town. You can tell from my crown all the way to my laces and the way that I lace them. I'm feeling like Freddie. I'm feeling like Jason. I fuck them, don't chase them. She call me daddy, there ain't no relation. I'm feeling good. I'm feeling great. They don't like the way I'm feeling. I can feel they feel away. It's okay. Ain't nobody kill the way I feel today. On the real, and they just mad they don't feel how I feel today. I feel good, I feel great. If you at my table, fix a plate. If your ass a hater, stay away. Sleeping on me, should've stayed awake. I feel good, I feel great. Can't you tell by that smile on my face? Can't you tell by the way I pour that ace? Can't you tell by the way I beat that case?
You can't tell me the boy ain't dope.
Yo, can I be happy? That's the real question. I got a smile on my face, that's some real question. We've been wildin' nowadays, living real reckless. Although the picture don't seem vivid, man, I'll still sketch it. Yeah, we still got dreams of living bigger lives. And the media still trying to keep us hypnotized. Ain't no OG ever taught me how to get it right. So I don't ever want to hear about how I'm living mine. Yeah, dog, I'ma get it how I grew up. Niggas that we grew up with acting like they ain't knew us. Looking past us, but never looking through us. They don't know what we had to endure. Yeah, making mushrooms out of manure. Hallelujah, we finally open the doors. I live in the verses while we hum over the chorus. It's the time to run its course. Big Sean said to take my time, Wody. My best friend Sean lost his moms, now we lonely. I went and tried to pawn all the dreams that they told me, then they killed T right outside the stove. He was holding. And for them niggas, that was just a moment. But for me, I realized that I could lose everything important. I don't hold no grudge against niggas who weren't supporting, cause it's dope gang. We the ones causing all the commotion. Yeah, sometimes my hands need some lotion, and I might pop a band if I don't have no one to roll with. Showed up to the dance when I don't have no one to go with. But that's how I met my girl, and she the one who keep me solid. Yeah, my aura's so gold, yeah, it's so lit. I'll laugh at your jokes, even the ones that I don't get. And play your new shit before I play my own shit. Bitch, welcome to the dope, bitch.
Yeah. Welcome to the Dopest Alliance on YouTube, Instagram, and everywhere else. All right, y'all. Peace, world, peace. Welcome or welcome back to Goddess Dawn Speaks. I am Goddess Dawn, aka the $1 trillion goddess, aka the queen of info, baby. And we are here live on this Friday. Getting it in for this trial, week 3, day 13. I'm getting right up onto the courtroom today, child. Ain't no time to mess around on this Friday. I don't know. I got a light crew today, it looks like, but it's all good. I'm going to keep doing what I do because I love it. Can't nobody stop me. All right. So thank you and a shout out to Inner City Press's Matthew Russell Lee for giving us the play-by-play in the courtroom, as always. And we're going to get right into it, okay? Mia is still on the stand, y'all. I'm going to put a picture up because even though she's a anonymous victim witness, so they're not showing us the details of her face, but it's definitely not KK. So I got to eat my words because I thought it might have been KK, but no, it's not KK. She's a blonde Caucasian lady. KK is a brunette. I think by her being Caucasian, a blonde Caucasian at that, that's even more detriment as far as Diddy is concerned, because that's just how the world works, child. But yeah, let's get into, I believe she's gonna get continue her direct testimony, and then she's gonna get cross-examined. I'm thinking she might be the only witness today, the only victim witness. And yeah, we're going to just jump right into the things. All right. So Matthew starts us off okay. U.S. versus Sean Combs, day 13. Mia on direct, then crossed by Steele on sexual assault, abusive work conditions, forced labor is the question mark. Before the jury is brought in, the judge asks, what's the issue with the charts? Alexander Shapiro, Combs' attorney, says, we object to the column entitled Escort. The judge says, meaning the title. Shapiro says they're connecting up the stay with the hotel with the escort's travel to the city. We don't know if the escort traveled to New York, that they actually went to the Londoner hotel. Prosecutor says, the prosecutor says, we discussed. Shapiro interrupts and says the government can make an argument that an interference can be made. The judge says, fair, Miss Comey. Comey says, okay, title's out. We have records like go to room so-and-so in the hotel. We can remove the header. We will show that the escort was going to the hotel where there was a reservation under the name Frank Black. The judge asks, and this one? Prosecution says it's escort Jules Theodore. Shapiro says, we'll take that. We'll take what the court gives us. The judge asks, anything else on summary exhibits? We're running into the jury's time. Let's get started. Can we have Mia back? So the witness enters. All rise. The judge says, Miss Smizer, you may proceed. Smizer asks, did you call the other employee's family? Mia says, yes, I was surrounded by them, and everyone referred to each other that way. Prosecution asks, you dated an employee? She says, yes, Matt, the sound engineer. Were you and Matt able to hang out together normally? No, we had an apartment together in New York, but we were rarely there at the same time. Why did you go to South Africa? Puff told me to accompany Cassie. She was shooting a movie. And what happened there? Cass had caught Puff cheating on her with Gina. She was devastated. What were her interactions with Combs? They were on the phone. He was in Miami. Then she stopped answering the calls. I'll read the blue messages. KK, Miss Coram. And you read Gray. That's you. She wrote, PD wants to talk to you. Who is that? She said, Puff. Audio call not completed. I wasn't answering the calls, but I spoke with Puff. He threatened to kill me. I was going to say unalive, but I'm reading transcript. So he threatened to kill me. Prosecution asked, what else did he threaten you with? He said he was firing me. He said I had to leave and fly back. He threatened to kill me. Miss Coram wrote, I need to talk to her. Not sure what to do. He needs you to call him now, or you don't have a job. How did that make you feel? Desperate, terrified, and really sad. Did you answer KK's calls? No. I texted back that I had been asleep. It sucks to wake up to this every morning. I'm being shit on from all sides. I'm in a fucked up spot. And what was KK's answer? She wrote, can you call me when you get a chance? I wrote, I'm having anxiety attacks and night fears. About who? Puff. Who are these WhatsApps with? Puff. I screenshot them. I've had other phones since. Y'all, I just realized real quick. Let me go to the comments. Only a couple of y'all here. What's up, Trav? Wow, Wayne. Looks like PJ Corleone popped in. Michelle. Nia X, the Black Letter Law. Okay, let's get back to it. What did Combs write? If you don't call me in 2 minutes, I'm going to tell everything. You're fired. Fuck ABC and their lawyers. Let's go to war. What do you think he meant by tell everything? He tell Cassie about the sexual assault. What do you think he meant by fuck ABC? I had written a show based on my life as an assistant. I hit the press, the most I ever got. He was threatening to take that away. It hit the press. It hit the press, the most I ever got. He was threatening to take that away. Did the show ever air? No. What did he write now? Call me now, now, then don't ever call me again. I wrote back that I've been asleep. Is that the end of the screenshots? Yes. What's this? My email to Puff, then to KK. What did you write? I'm really sorry, Puff. You know I love you, smiley face. I paid for my own flight. It will cost to change it. I'm sorry to ask for the money. I'm sorry. I want to make sure you're good. At the end of the day, regardless, I love you. Why did you send this? He told me to return. Then he told me to stay. I couldn't afford the change fees, I told him. Cece says she really needs me right now, but of course, I'll do whatever you want. I love you. Who is Cece? Cass. Why did you write that? Because I worked for him. To him, that's all that mattered. Why did you CC Miss Coram? Because I needed an answer. I was in limbo. When you got back from South Africa, where did you work? The office in LA. Did you have less access to Mr. Combs? Much less. Did it make your jobs easier or harder? It made it almost impossible. I needed this okay for everything, but I couldn't get any responses from him. How did it make you feel? Defeated. What's this? A note from HR to me. What was that date? March 31st, 2011. The judge says, Ms. Spicer, can we take the document down? I think it needs further redaction. Prosecution says, what was happening? Mia says, I was suspended without pay. What had happened? He came in and didn't see I have laid out all the options. He started ranting. I tried to point to the other options. Who was this with? James Cruz. He worked for Puff in like a managerial role. He asked for tickets. I wrote back, Puff is firing me right now. He wrote back, LOL. I wrote back, no, seriously. Sad face. What is this? Email D-Rock to me, March 25th, 2011. D-Rock asked, what happened? Oh no, that's the prosecution's asked. D-Rock asked, what happened? Mia says, I wrote, he went batshit crazy about his shirt. Where was Puff? With D-Rock going to the doctor and some other errands. I asked D-Rock to give me a heads up before they came back so I could be out of the way. What did HR tell you? Puff wanted me suspended without pay. And I was. Mia, does this memo document the reasons you were suspended? No, HR told me Puff said I was being insubordinate. Did you get other documents like this from HR? Yes. How did they make you feel? So sad that I did something wrong. Did you continue working for Mr. Combs? Yes. Did you feel you could leave your job? That wasn't a thought. I had tried to run away before, but it didn't work. Did you feel you could get other jobs? Oh no, he would have made sure. I was scared of him. When did you try to run away from your job? New Year's 2010 to 2011, where were you? St. Bart's. Who was there? Me, Puff, Kim, the kids, some others. Where did you stay? A yacht that Puff chartered. What did Mr. Combs ask you to do? To count money in the safe. He yelled I was counting too slow. He chased me out and told me, you better learn to walk on water like Jesus, bitch. Get the fuck out of here. Whose job was it to count? Security. I asked the crew to take me to land, but it was a hurricane or something. I hid on the 3rd floor. Who spoke to you? Kim. She tried to console me and said, don't worry about it. I saw Puff coming toward me. I ran and hid in the crew cabin. Did the crew take you to land in a tender boat? Yes, but then they got a call. I had to come back. Were you able to leave the country? No, my passport was on the boat. Puff's staff had it. Did you go back to the boat? Yeah. I was told to get in the car to go on the plane to Vegas with Puff. In the car, you could hear Puff's call. He was telling his chief of staff I needed to be suspended, making up a story. I didn't get to finish. He yelled, "Shut the fuck up." You left Mr. Combs' companies in 2017? Yes, I spoke with Brian Afoot. We were heading to the Bad Boy documentary. I was producing that. What did Brian tell me? Must be tell you. What did Brian tell you? That Mr. Combs wanted to end Revolt Films. The company was going away. How did you feel? I think I saw snot coming out of my nose for a while. I was worried. I had been told Revolt Films was the only company that had made money that year. How did you feel? That I had done something wrong. What did Brian Afoot say? That they would work out severance, but it was the holidays. Did you speak to anyone else? I had a little bit of time to horrifically process what had happened. KK said, "You're still working on the documentary." Did you? Yes, until March or April. What did you do after it? Cried myself to sleep. I ignored all the calls. Did you have conversations with Cassie after? I could never tell who was with or without Puff, so I didn't respond. KK said Puff couldn't believe I would go against him. I had gotten an employment attorney. KK said Puff couldn't believe it. Did you get paid? After 9 months, my attorney proposed a mediation. They asked for like 10 million. Who came up with that figure? My lawyers. Did you bring up the violent incidents? A few of them. I feel that I was doing something horrible. I was breaking the idea of confidentiality, telling secrets. I felt wrong and shameful. Did you bring up the sexual assaults? Oh no, I was going to die with that. How much did you receive? $200,000. My lawyers got that much too. Wow. What was it for? Bonuses I hadn't been paid and out of pocket. Would you return the money to have this never have happened? Brian still objects. The judge overrules. Mia says, "Oh, absolutely." Do you have any other lawsuits against Mr. Combs? Mia says no. Did you contact Mr. Combs again? When Kim died and when Andre Harrell died. Did you tell him you loved him in these messages? That's how I would speak to him. Are you aware of Cassie's lawsuit? Yes, November 2023. Have you spoken with Cassie since the suit? Yes, we talk a lot then. We both hide from our phones in the depression thing. Then a few days ago, just personal stuff and I love yous. Did you speak about your testimonies? Oh, no. After the suit in November 2023, did anyone contact you? Yes, D-Rock. He was like my big brother. He said, "How are you?" What did you respond? D-Rock with exclamation points. Why all the exclamation points? Because I love exclamation points and D-Rock. I understood D-Rock was no longer with Puff and he and his wife had a restaurant in the Poconos. He wrote, "I'm about to call you. What date?" November 30th, 2023. Did D-Rock call you? Yes. What happened on that call? Still objects. The judge says to ask again. Prosecution asks, "What did he say?" The judge overruled. Mia said, "He started with personal stuff. Then he said, 'The news is crazy.' It wasn't like that. It was normal fighting." Was it? Absolutely not. D-Rock said, "Puff misses you." He implied everyone agreed. I immediately thought, oh my God. Still objects. Judge asked the grounds. He says non-responsive. Then there's a sidebar. Okay. Hey, Money Penny. Hope you're well. G. Washington, what's up? Thanks for the bells. Hey, Love Queen. She says, I hate that people don't believe that there is a will. Where there's a will, there's a way. Yeah. Okay, let's get back into it. They're back from the sidebar. Prosecution asked, where did D-Rock say he was? Mia said that he had just landed in Miami. He was going to be at Puff's. He was going to take care of Christian. D-Rock said, maybe you could say something. How did you respond? I pretended I'd talk to Puff. Did you want to? No, I was scared. He called me right after D-Rock. How did you react? I threw my phone behind the couch and ran out. Why? It was just so triggering. Did you hear from D-Rock again? Yes. What did D-Rock write? That your boy doesn't want you to do anything, just to talk. I didn't want to. I just wanted it to go away. What then did D-Rock write to you? He wrote, I can't believe you're not hitting me back. It was February 22, 2024. Mia said, I knew he wouldn't stop, so I wrote back. I was scuba diving all day and didn't have my phone on the boat. And prosecution asked, was that true? She said, no. I told D-Rock I called Puff, but there was no answer. I wanted to play neutral. Prosecution says, D-Rock asked, how can I send you something? What did you think he meant? Mia said, money. I said, no, I'm always ready to help y'all out. Prosecution says he wrote, I'm allowed to send my sister a gift. Did he? No, she said. Prosecution asked, what did you think D-Rock was trying to do? She says, find out for Puff if I was a threat. Did Mr. Combs text you in February of 2024? Yes, he said, call me when you have 10 minutes. Love. And this one, February 7, 2024, he said, I need my memory jogged. Did you respond? No. I didn't want anything to do with him. He was the person I was traumatized by. I knew that this was a front. Was this the last message? I think so. I got some objection. The judge sustains. The prosecution says, asks, do you work now? She says, no, I suffer from complex PTSD. The judge asks for a sidebar. When they get back from the sidebar, the prosecution asks, what are your symptoms? She says, misinterpreting emails. Someone calls my name from across the room. All the feelings of getting in trouble come flooding back. I triple guess myself. Who caused it? Mia says, Puff. And at this point, the judge calls for a break. Wow, she can't even work because she's so traumatized. That's crazy. Okay, let me just take a quick sip of water and we'll get right back into it. All right, they're back from the break. The judge says, Mr. Steele, you can put the binders on the jurors' chairs. Ms. Smizer, do you have objections? Smizer says, there's an exhibit where we are requesting hearsay redactions to. We can hash it out. The judge says, put the binders on the chairs. All rise. The judge calls for the cross-examination, and Brian Steele steps up. Because of Combs, well, let me switch the picture real quick. Because of Sean Combs, you suffer a great deal, right? She said, right. Just seeing him call your number made you throw your phone, true? True. He made you do things that are unthinkable. She said, yes. Making you sleep in a room with a lock and coming in and violating you is in the most unthinkable way, true? She said, true. You said Sean Combs' conduct was the worst thing that ever happened to you, right? She says, yes. Look at the notebook. I moved for admission of 1702 to 1710. Smizer says, these are under seal. Steele says, whatever the court says, we have redacted versions. Mia, this is a social media post by you in 2013. She says, yes. It's your personal account It's your personal account. This is what you're doing? She says, yes, my personal account. Still says, you wrote, this is what we want when you are not around. I am Diddy Ciroc, right? She says, yes. You tagged him years after you say he raped you? She said, yes. This is July 4th, 2013. Whose hands are those? She says, Cass and me. You wrote, rich as fuck and CC. Who is CC? She said, Cass. What does CC stand for? She said, it's just a nickname. Still asks, have you heard Cassie Combs? Mia said, oh, that makes sense. Still says, here, you say he got coffee for you, though, in Forbes list? Wait, here you say he got coffee for you, though, in Forbes list? She says, yes. Combs asks, you say he made you take rugs against your will at Burning Man, but you post about it? She said, right. You posted a picture with him, a man? She said, yes. And this video depicting Mr. Combs as doctor delivering your baby? She says, it was a funny video. I was proud to be in it. Still says, Mr. Combs' birthday is significant to you. You did 2 shots with him, right? She says, yes. Alcohol overcame you, right? She says, yes. You believe you were drugged? She said, I didn't say that. A person you really don't know put his mouth on your mouth without your permission, right? She says, yes. His hands up your dress and onto your person. Remember that? It was paralyzing. She says, yes. You wake up in a chair. You told the jury that? I did. But this message and this one, another the same day, posting the anniversary of you being sexually assaulted by Sean Combs, according to your testimony. She said, I don't celebrate it as an anniversary of that, but his birthday. What did you write? Thank you for giving me an extended family for life. You're fucking funny. I love you. You're in a tutu next to Mr. Combs, right? She says, yes. He's holding his private part in his hand. Question mark. I guess so. You were proud of Mr. Combs? Mr. Sean Combs? Of course you'd post the great times. You wrote extended family for life. You are forever one of my great fans. This about the man who traumatized you? I wrote that. Who is your mentor and brother you're writing about? She said, Puff. You did a collage about, my bad, Still says, you did a collage. A lot of them are you and Mr. Combs. You picked out the thumbnails, right? Right. What did you write? Who let me have hair like that? You are with Mr. Combs, right? Yes. Here you say, look, Ma, I'm in a billboard, Times Square. Here you say, look, Ma, I'm on a billboard in Times Square, right? Mia said, it's a play on my name is in lights. And this photo, me and Cass going to Istanbul. Did Mr. Combs have to approve both of you going on that trip? Absolutely. This photo, we're in the Sprinter van on the way to Cass's club appearance. Where are you in this one? The W Hotel in Istanbul. What did you write here? About Muhammad Ali's birthday with Puff. I took the photo. You took one photo? I'm sure I took multiple, but this was the best one. This is November 4th, 5 years after you were sexually assaulted? She says yes. What did you write? Thank you for being my friend. Hashtag happy birthday, Diddy. Hashtag I'm so hot, I'm throwing panties at myself. And you have Mr. Combs shirtless in 2 of the pictures. He's always shirtless. Mia, you have said you were sexually assaulted so many times you can't remember. Prosecution objects, misstates the testimony, they say. The judge sustained. Still asks, have you met with the prosecutors? She says yes. More than 27 times? I don't know the number. Do you remember telling you don't remember how many times you were sexually assaulted? I don't know if I phrased it that way. This has ruined you, right? You're broken. Yes. The sexual abuse, she says, was a part of the way he ruined me. Yes. You wrote, thank you for being the good kind of crazy, inspiring me every day. He asked. She says, I don't think people wrote bad stuff about their life on Instagram back then. Still says, why'd you promote it? She said, it was my job to promote. It was a cycle of ups and downs. When he was calling me his best friend, I wasn't afraid of him. Still asks, you weren't afraid of the man who stole your innocence? Prosecution objects, the judge overrules. Still asks, you have family? She says, parents, a sister, and friends? Prosecution asks for a time frame. Combs still asks, when you posted this, you still had friends? She said, I had no sounding board. I had to get permission to go to my grandfather's funeral. Still asks, the jury was an email with D-Rock. You could express yourself, right? Mia said, I reached out to him. What's this? Still asked. She says, my friends at Funny or Die. I'm in the video. What did you write? She says, you know you are a celebrity when you are spraying champagne at Funny or Die. And what's this? My birthday post for Justin, Puff's son. And this one? Ciroc promo, hashtag. You are in it with Mr. Combs? She says, yes. Do you ever say anything that Mr. Combs violated you? Never. Here, still asks. Puff and Jimmy Iovine, legends, she says. Still asks, he's traumatized you? She says, yes. Still asks, you wrote? She said, watch Puff tonight on Fuse today. I've convinced him to make a door on his TV set and call it the Diddy door. Still asks, you post a picture of the person who has ruined your life? She says, and my boss. Who made you post this? She said, no one. How did you forget about waking up with a man on top, having his way with you? She says, I was in fear of upsetting him, the moments other than when we were best friends. How are you best friends with the man you say raped you? She said, ask my therapist. What did you write? She said, fuck off, Patron, with a photo of Puff dancing with his tequila. And in this photo, Mr. Combs is close to you? She says, yes. You are producing the show? She says, Funny or Die did it, but I was getting producer credits. Prosecution asked for a sidebar. The judge says, we'll give the jurors their lunch break. We'll stay and hash it out. All rise. The jurors exit and Mia exits. So now they're at the sidebar. Well, the jury is out as well as Mia, so they're able to speak freely, actually. Hey, Shamina. Miss Moneypenny said, poor Mia, sending her peace and healing. Yeah, D-Rock comes up a lot. He does. I'm wondering if who he's going to testify for. He should be a co-defendant at this point. Love Queen said, I know how she feels with the PTSD. D-Rock needs to be locked up. Yeah. Yep. All right, let's get back into it. Wait, let me get a sip of water real quick. All right, so while the jury and Mia are out on lunch break, the judge asked Miss Smizer, the prosecutor, she says, the witness doesn't have the burden to bring forth evidence to support her claims. It's our burden. The judge says, Mr. Steele, you will have to ask, does she have texts or emails or something she'd have knowledge of? The Steele says, understood. The judge then calls a break for them as well. All right. They get back from break. The judge asks, Miss Smizer, anything? Smizer says, they just gave us a video they say they intend to use in violation of the court's order. The judge says, Mr. Steele? Steele says, it's a very short video. A happy birthday to Mr. Combs in 2014. It shows her demeanor. The judge says, it's cumulative. Why wasn't it turned over earlier? Still says, I only got it last night. It's video and audio. The court should know I gave over impeachment days ago. I don't do that. I know the court doesn't know me. The judge says, how long? He says 8 seconds. Prosecution says, no, it's 20 seconds. And they gave us the exhibits before and after this one, 1749 and 1751. I don't know why they withheld this one. The judge says, I don't understand what you just said. When did you decide to use it? Still said yesterday. The judge said 1750 is excluded. Yeah, he's like, you playing games with me. They sent them a video to show, but they sent 2 exhibits numbered, one before and one after the video, which means they had the video when they sent the other exhibit. So they did withhold it on purpose. Okay, moving on. The judge asked, why was it not reviewed? Shapiro said, we didn't even think of it till we saw how she presented herself. The judge asked, how is that possible? Ignifugo says, let me try. The judge cuts him off and says, the court's order said you have to establish good cause. That's why I'm asking. Shapiro says, the judge interrupts. No, we cannot have multiple lawyers speaking on this same issue. You can ask her, did you send this video? If she says yes, it's not impeachment. Ignifugo says, I saw it yesterday. Her effect on the stand might be an act. Ignifugo continues, we had to talk with our client. We think the witness's effect is false. I think someone has determined who she is and sent us the video. The judge says, take 5 minutes and confer, then answer on why there is good cause. If someone sent you at 1 a.m., sent it to you at 1 a.m. Okay, I'm just looking to see. I feel like they should ask them who sent the video to you, because if it came from Diddy or somebody in Diddy's close circle or whatever, they definitely should not admit that video. That means that he said they found out that he said it seems that somebody found out who she was, because remember, this witness is using a pseudonym. She's supposed to be anonymous. Nobody should know who she is. But it sounds like once they heard her first day of testimony on the stand, they figured out who she was, and they started sending the defense things that could help them against her when they did their cross. And that's not right. Okay, let's go on. Steele says, can we just email everyone our position? The judge says, sure. Inner City Press makes a note here, says, when we go into, they're asking if it'll go into the public docket, because when they filed their application for them to start putting stuff in the public docket, the judge approved it. So it should be enforced at this point. Shapiro goes on, some people on the internet think they have figured out who Mia is. We got this video also from random people on the internet. We don't think this was ever posted on her social media. It was on some random website. Should we show it to you? So now it's random people who they don't know, because some mysterious people figured out who she was. So they show the video, but not on the public screen in the gallery. It has already been redacted, they say. So why not on the public screen? This is the reporter asking for the public to know what is excluded or included and why. Okay, so Smizer, the prosecution, goes on and says they waited until the direct was over. The judge says, when did the defense see it? Shapiro said yesterday. The judge asked, when was it marked, at 1750? Shapiro says, I don't know. The judge says the video is precluded. After the number of social media posts the defense has used, it's cumulative. The defense's theory is dubious. And then he asked, can I ask if she sent it? And the judge says yes. So they're pressing the issue of this video. They want to show it so bad. It sounds like the prosecution is accusing them of having had the video, but waiting until after direct before they presented to the court, because if they had presented it any sooner, the prosecution could have gotten in front of it and asked her about it. But now that they're done with their direct, now the defense, it's kind of like, it's ammunition that the defense has against Mia. So the judge says that Steele can ask if she sent it. Okay, so Steele says, I'm going to ask about scrapbooks. The prosecutor and I have disagreement. I have 3 copies, one for the jurors to pass around. The honorable prosecutor and I disagree. The judge says, you can give it to them for a couple of minutes. Bring Mia back, then the jury. So the witness enters, and then the jury enters. Steele says, what is the Breakfast Club? She said, the name of our camp. Puff's friends group still partying at breakfast. I was invited once. This message from South Africa, you pounded hashtag. This Diddy fan club? She says, yes, it was run by a girl who shamelessly promoted Puff. She was so sweet. Steele says, he supposedly drugged and raped you on his birthday, November 4th. How did you not mark that? Mia says, I wanted to forget it. I pushed it down. Steele says, are you finished? She says, yes. Steele asks, you put aside what you say you saw your sister, your best friend, Cassie. You put it aside and post this? She said, yes. He said, you wrote this? She said, Puff at iHeart. Steele asks, what are you doing here? She says, promoting Puff's appearance on Blackish. It's a comedy show. Steele asks, were you aware of the hashtag Me Too movement? That was a great movement. Mia says, yes. Steele asks, what are these? She says, me and Puff at Burning Man, then on Blackish. Steele says, you loved Miss Ventura, ? You meant every word on your social media account? She says, I didn't mean every word on my account, but I do love Cass. Steele asks, what's this? She said, a pop-up shop for D-Rock's brand, Invisible Bully. Interesting that his brand is called Invisible Bully. Let me write that down so I could go troll his brand. No. Okay. Steele asks, you promoted Mr. Combs? Yes. Hold on. You loved Miss Ventura? You meant every... Okay, wait, hold on. I'm sorry. Hold on. Okay. You promoted Mr. Combs? She said yes. You're saying this is not the way you felt? The prosecution objects and says argumentative. The judge sustains. How about you are the best unicorn rock star alien? She says, I was trying to say unique. Steele asks, who are the people in this photo? She says, Mama Combs, Christian, D-Rock, Fahim, Tron. And then the reporter writes a note saying, during these IDs, Combs is whispering to Igniflo. Steele asks, you worked through March 2017? She said it was confusing. He says, on December 6, 2016, you were notified? She said, I was getting mixed messages. What was this? She said, I was promoting Bad Boys reunion tour I was doing the documentary on. Steele says, I'm going to show you something, DX 1700. She says, I remember this. He said, you did this? She said, it was nice of me. He says, you made this and gave it to Mr. Combs? She says, yes. What did you write at the top? She says, Puff sometimes goes by at a catastrophic speed. I hope on this day, I hope you can sit back and consider. I made this book of articles from 1991 to now. Steele says, did you mean those words? She says, yes. He said to me, I used to look at the world the way you do, but now that I've done everything, it was sad. Steele says, the man you say has ruined your life? She says, I can tell you what my therapist has said. Steele says, how could you do this? She says, it's called psychological abuse. No one did anything. Still says, what could be more terrible? And the prosecution objects. The judge sustains. Mia says, there are textbooks out there. It's called an abusive relationship. Still says, but you're not dating Mr. Combs. Mia says, abusive relationships are not limited to that. There were no streaming documentaries about this. No one flinched at his behavior. The judge calls a sidebar. All right. Yes, please hit the like button. Chad had to come from Diddy's people. Right, Trav. I agree with you. Okay, let's go on. So they're back from the sidebar. Still asks, where is that you confronted him and said, you have violated me sexually or otherwise? And he said, I need your help. Where is that? The prosecution objects. The judge overrules. Mia says, after St. Bart's, I confronted him about his behavior, not the other thing. Still says, you told Cassie she's a superstar and should get the money? I don't remember that. Are you lying about Mr. Combs' misbehavior? I have not lied to anyone at all. Isn't it true it did not happen as many times as you said? Mia said, everything I said in this courtroom is true. Still asked, why did you make him the scrapbook? She said, you can talk to an expert about sexual assault. Still asked, could we hand the scrapbook to the jurors? The judge said, take a brief look for a couple of minutes. So the scrapbook is passed around. Now, I'm interjecting that when you make a scrapbook for someone else, I mean, people make scrapbooks for themselves. People make scrapbooks in honor of other people and events. So making a scrapbook for another person would typically say you're a fan, right? Or even obsessed. But also, she was working for this man. This was her boss. And also, it seems that it was her job to kind of hype him up and also to promote him on social media. So maybe the scrapbook was overkill, but I see how maybe the jury could interpret it in a couple of different ways. Okay, so Combs says, Mia, let me ask you, how did you make this scrapbook? Mia says, I researched and reached out for archives. And Still asks, archives in a library? She says, in his company. But then you did all the work. She said, I did. Did you make Mr. Combs a birthday video? She says, I put one together. I asked people if they wanted to send in a video. Still says, I want to ask you about the last 4 digits. And he starts reading them out. The prosecution objects. The judge says, just ask her if she recognizes her number. Mia says, I do. Still says, let's read these messages. I'll be KK. Mia says, my life is over. I might as well. And then Still says, ask KK, call me back or I'm calling your parents. Mia says, fuck, I'm so sorry. I'm with Laura Gomez. And KK says, I'm not going to say it. Fucking tell you are. I'm not going to say it. Effing tell you are. And Mia says, the pain hurts so fucking bad. Still says, who is Laura Gomez? She was in HR at Combs' Enterprises. Still says, you start, I'm going to unalive myself. My life is over. She says, yes. You could have quit. Mia said, I didn't see it that way. Why? There's a pretty long psychological explanation. I was around them 24 hours a day. This is all I knew. Why weren't you happy to be severed? Isn't this great? Not then. Combs says, Your Honor. The judge says, we'll let the jury go for the weekend. Don't read anything about the case. You have notifications turned off. All rise for the jury. Mia, we'll see you on Monday. Wow. So Mia has to come back on Monday. At least at this point, she might be better prepared for these this cross exam, but also it gives time for people to send in more stuff about her. because clearly now they know who she is, especially with these sketches that they have. So while the jury is out and Mia's gone, the prosecution says, what is the authenticity of the last exhibit? The defense says, we got it from the government. The prosecution says, format with an unknown number. The judge says, Mr. Steele suggested that the green boxes are Miss Coram, but there's an unknown person. The defense says, it's KK. The defense says, we spoke with Miss Coram's counsel. We have put it into another format. Theirs crashes our computer. The judge says, Mia said that number was Miss Coram. You can explore on redirect. So it sounds like the defense is working with KK's attorney, or they've been reaching out to, get stuff or whatever. So I'm wondering, I'm confused because she is clearly somebody who should be a co-defendant or some type of, she's complicit in a lot of ways about things. So if she's not going to testify for the government, I don't know what is going on. She might testify for the government, but she might be just somebody like a couple of the other people who, well, probably not everybody wanted to be there. But I remember Deontay said, absolutely not. I don't want to be here. And she'll probably say the same thing. And she'll probably be a difficult witness, maybe even a hostile witness. I don't know. So Ignifilo says, Mia's affected by yesterday. Maybe it was real. Maybe it was not. We have a right. The judge interrupted. If you're using the exhibit as impeachment, tell me. I can't read your mind. Ignifilo says, we're trying to be courteous and move the trial along, but Ignifilo says she has PTSD. The government says we have 403 objection too. Ignifilo says we can write a letter on this over the weekend. The judge says it's a 20-second happy birthday video. For the good of the order, maybe the parties can come up with an order. The prosecution says next witnesses are Enrique Santos, then Eddie Garcia, who I understand will invoke the Fifth Amendment. We can immunize at 8:55 a.m. Then a hotel custodian. We'll email a list. So let's see, Enrique Santos, Eddie Garcia, who's going to try not to speak on the Fifth Amendment, under the Fifth Amendment. They're going to talk to him, wonder if they're going to offer him immunity or of some sort, like they did I forgot who the other person was that did that right before he testified. So Inner City is asking, they're wondering if this is going to be in the docket. The prosecution said they have applied for Rule 17 subpoenas. We want to oppose by Sunday night. Ms. Ventura's counsel is out of the country. Ignifilo says, if he runs out of minutes, can he get more? The judge says, I can order relief if warranted. And then he adjourns. So, they've applied for Rule 17 subpoenas. I'm writing that down because I want to know what that is. And Cassie's lawyer said, I'm out of here. I need a vacation. This is too much. He probably is doing that strategically as well, so he can't be reached. Okay. All right. So that's the end of today's testimony. You said they give him immunity. Yeah. So they're going to do that at 8:55 right before court on Monday. Yes. Please hit the like button. I don't have too much today. I just want to tell you that I did look at the documents on the docket in Pacer. There's a couple of new letters from the government to the judge opposing the defense's motions. They have two motions, one of them trying to strike Dr. Hughes's testimony altogether. And also they have the government has filed an opposition into the defense's motion trying to strike parts of Capricorn Clark's testimony. So we're going to see what the judge has to say about these things. And in the meantime, I want to wish everyone an amazing weekend. I don't know why I'm saying so much. I don't know why I'm saying but I just want to say thank you. I don't know. I like doing this, and I hope that you continue to come back. And I don't know. I appreciate your support, and just know that I appreciate you chosen ones, warriors. All right, that's all I got for now. What else I got? I think that's it. That's it. Hope everybody has a great weekend. And I do want to remind you, I'm coming live tomorrow with the Black Letter Law, attorney Afi Patterson Esquire. We're going to do a video, a live, revisiting the Tory Lanez or the state versus Tory Lanez trial, basically unpacking the evidence and basically debunking his innocence. I'm going to say debunking. Afi didn't really I was going to put that in the title. Afi chooses to have more of a neutral stance, at least publicly while she's debunking. You know what I'm saying? But there's too much back and forth and too many things being put out that are asinine and insane, and only weirdos. Sorry if you're a free Tory person, but only weirdos believe any of it. And it's definitely a right-wing agenda attached to this. There's probably big money behind it too. And we are going to point all of that out tomorrow live. I'm going to put that up actually probably sometime today and get that scheduled. So if you see it pop up, please come on in to the chat and let me know that you are waiting for us to come do this thing, and like that video as well. All right. More PJ Corleone right here. Dopest Alliance, DOPESS Alliance. That's what it is. That's the label. And the artist is PJ Corleone with a K. He's the shit. And he's my son. All right, y'all. Till next time. Bye.
Can I ride? Can I slide? Can I roll? Can I go? Can I ride?